All right, Shalom. I want to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I like to give double honors unto the apostles and the artists of great millstone, who I learned this truth from. And I like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. And, I'm just going to be doing a quick video, on the YouTube outage, that took place, the other day or yesterday, better yet, you know. Because me personally, I thought my phone, was just acting up. I didn't have any service, but, YouTube was actually down for a second, and then they got it back up. So I'm just going to read, a little bit of this article and then bring out a couple of scriptures. Lord willing, this lesson is edifying and straight to the point. And it says, YouTube says issue resolved after more than 250,000 users report problems accessing website and app. And it says, YouTube has announced that all of its platforms are back to normal after more than 250,000 users reported issues accessing the social media site. Around 350,000 users reported issues accessing YouTube on Tuesday evening from 8 p.m. Eastern Time, according to the unofficial crowd-sourced site Down Detector. The most commonly reported problem was users saying they had issues using the YouTube app. And me personally, the other day, I did, I thought it was just my phone acting up, because I didn't have service because of where I was, but again, my phone was actually, tripping a little bit, but YouTube was down as well, So continuing, it says by around 10 p.m., YouTube confirmed the issue has been fixed across its platforms. The issue with our recommendation system has been resolved in all of our platforms, youtube.com, the YouTube app, YouTube Music, Kids, and TV are back to normal. We really appreciate you bearing with us while we sorted this out. A statement from the YouTube help page reads, says, before the fix was announced, YouTube said it was working to resolve a small number of reports that some people are unable to log into YouTube TV. So from what they're saying, it all started from that, but this is, this is going to become a reality very soon, because once YouTube goes down, it's not going to be the same as it is now, once the famine of the word is in full effect. This is why, we're pushing out these videos, to edify the elect, because this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures is what's going to get us through, the time of Jacob's trouble, which we're in, So I'm going to grab the book of Amos, chapter 8, and verse 11. It says, behold, the day is come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor of thirst. Excuse me. I'm going to restart that. It's the book of Amos, chapter 8 and 11. It says, behold, the day is come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord and right. The famine of the word, which there is going to be a physical food famine. There is going to be a lack of food and water out here, but this particular famine is going to be the famine of the word, or the famine of hearing the word of the Lord, because right now, it's still readily available. The internet is still up, so you can still access this truth by way of the internet. The men of the Lord are still out on the streets teaching, whatever respective day they go out on camp, usually Saturdays. Some brothers go out, twice a week, midweek, Wednesdays, Friday, Saturday, whatever days brothers go out, man. But the word is still going out, But once they shut this internet down, again, it's not going to be the same. You know, these videos that we're uploading now, they're not going to be there. Excuse me. They're not going to be there. They're going to take our videos down, because they don't want the people to, get this truth. And once that happens, that's when people are going to seek answers. Once all hell breaks loose, people are going to want to know what's going on. Which is why it says this in verse 12. It says, "And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it." And right, people aren't going to physically, go from, north to south, east to west, seeking the word of the Lord. No, it's talking about the internet, man. Because again, the internet is what, connects, everyone in the world. Because again, here in America, you can talk to someone, on the other side of the world. You can connect with someone, in France, Germany, Australia, Japan, wherever. This is what it's talking about, man. People are going to seek the word of the Lord, on the internet, primarily by way of YouTube, because this is the, biggest platform as far as videos being uploaded, man. But what? They're going to take them down. People are going to seek answers, but what? They're not going to find it. But the elect will. I'm going to get the book of Isaiah chapter 33 and verse 6. And it says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure." And right, man, this is what's going to get us through, these tough times, which is why, brothers, they encourage us to, get this word, while we can, which, Lord willing, we be of the elect. This is what's going to get us through, the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, everything that we've learned, as long as we've been, in this truth, man, that's what's going to help us. Meanwhile, everyone else in the world, they're going to be asked out, because they don't have it, especially those of our people, because they had time to get the word of the Lord. But what? They spend their time BSing, which is why they're going to be left out here, Let's just get the book of Romans chapter 11 and verse 7. And it says, "What then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded." And right, man, the election hath obtained it. Attained what? This understanding, excuse me. It's like the election hath obtained this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. While meanwhile, the 2/3 of our people, they're blinded, spiritually blinded. They can't get this word. And some of them want to. They want to get it, but they just can't, man. Why? Because they weren't chosen. Lord willing, not only are we called, but we're chosen as well, man. Because that's the goal, to be called and chosen. Because as it says in the scriptures, just, going to quote it, many are called, but few are chosen. And we're looking to be amongst that, amongst that few that are chosen, man. Lord willing, that's us, man. Those of us that are sincerely in this thing, man, doing the best that we can, to serve the Lord in all truth and sincerity, So a famine of the word is coming, which is why, again, it's wise for us to, again, get this word now while we can. And 2/3 of our people, they're just going to shun it, So I'm going to end it with this. This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 9 and verse 9. It says, "Then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they have cast them away despitefully, shall dwell in torments." And right, man, it's talking about our people. Because again, as I know I say it frequently, man, like right now, again, the word of the Lord is readily available, even at our fingertips with these smartphones, man, because everyone has a phone. So a lot of our people have come across this truth in some form of fashion, whether they seen the video on YouTube, whether they actually came across, a camp in person. They have no cloak for their sins. They know because it's common knowledge now. The average, Negro, Latino, Native American, especially you Negroes, know that you're Israelites, but what, man, you do nothing with it. It's like it says, you cast it away despitefully. Verse 10, for such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me. And while they had, and while they, little excited, verse 11, and they that have loathed my law, while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was opened unto them, understood not, but despised it, the same must know it after death by pain. And right, man, you despise the word of the Lord. You despise, the prophets. In reality, you despise the Lord himself, man. Because again, the wicked of our people feel as though serving the Lord is grievous, when in reality, the only thing we have to do is do what the Lord tells us to do, and what we'll be fine, But as I read in Romans 11 and 7, man, only the elect are going to get this word, which is why there's going to be a famine of the word, man, because the wicked of our people, they're going to seek answers, but they're not going to be able to find them, because while they had the time to get it, what did they do? They shunned it. They fanned their hand, man. They came up against it, which is why it says in verse 12 that they're going to know it after death by pain. They're going to know what it was they came up against. Daniel 12 and 2, that everlasting shame, they're going to have their heads down, because they're going to realize that, the men that are out here, preaching and teaching the 100% truth were right, and that they came up against it. So a famine of the word is on the way, just wanted to do a quick lesson on that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I'd like to give divine honors unto the apostles and the orders of great millstone where I learned this truth from. Peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. Till next time I say, Shalom.